What up, everybody? This is something new for me. I'm actually trying my HP Pavilion all-in-one webcam for the first time to upload videos. I've had some issues uploading videos lately from my Windows 7 machine, so I thought I'd try this. But I'm also recording it, so I'm going to try to pay attention to both of you. What's going on? How are you? Great. Glad to hear it. You? Still there? Awesome. Okay, let's begin. What's been going on with me? Well, yes, I did win the TCW heavyweight title via Hardcore Battle Royal. Was the last entry in it, so, and I had the most hardcore thing imaginable, my sexy kick. So there you go. I also beat Ken Carson to gain the last entry. So there you go. I got to avenge my loss to Ken. But good matchup, and the Battle Royal was fun. I got interviewed by Cy Guy over there. So all in all, pretty eventful show for Halloween. I'm also on the second week of P90X. Got to tell you, I'm about 5 days per week at this moment. I'd like to be more than 5 days, but for right now, yeah, just 5 days a week. But hopefully, that's going to change here in the coming weeks. As long as I'm consistent to a degree, I feel good. Also, something happened this weekend. And wrestling etiquette, how I was taught, was don't burn your bridges, don't talk about business, be respectful of promoters and such. So before I talk about what went down this weekend, I figured I'd ask a question to all the viewers first, because I know I get some guys who are in the business also who watch this and kind of wanted to get their opinions also. I want to know what's more unprofessional. Either a company canceling a show and failing to notify talent of the cancellation to the point where talent actually arrives at said show, supposed show, and only to come to find out that it's been canceled, and then contacting said front office and kind of not being given a real answer. Now, is that unprofessional, or is it unprofessional, which is more, or is it unprofessional for someone to discuss it? Say, talent to discuss the inner workings. I'd like people's opinion, so feel free to fire back, give me a response. Definitely like to hear everyone's opinion, especially if you're in the business. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I had a couple of questions. War Princess X asked me what I felt about WWE unifying titles. I think unifying the Divas title, not a bad thing, because it gives Late Cool an opportunity and a platform to go into different places. It also gives the Divas one title to go after, which gives their matches maybe a little more meaning to some degree, I guess, in some weird way. And the tag team, I think it's okay. I wish it was proof that they were going to build the tag team division, but it doesn't seem like they're going to. But I don't think they're going to unify any other titles. I don't think you're going to see United States Intercontinental Champion. I don't think you're going to see that anytime soon. I don't think you're going to see the World Champion, WWE Champion, combining titles. I think you're not going to see any kind of more unification. So there you go. And finally, I got asked this question. Again, it goes back to burning bridges and not speaking too derogatory about a company, especially if it's a company you want to work. But I was asked what show I like better. I think that was from either IDIT 18 or, yeah, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, and the question was, which show do I like better? Which company do I like better, TNA or WWE? And see, that's kind of difficult. I can't really be, I like one better than the other, because ultimately I'd like to work for either or. TNA, WWE. But I figure I'll kind of give you my as honest a feedback as I can. Now, before I can begin or continue, I'd like to say I'm a fan of wrestling overall. Professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. I know. I was a fan of the Attitude Era. I was a fan before that. I was a fan of NWA, WCW, every form and facet, ECW, so on and so forth. I'm just a fan of wrestling. I'm still a big fan of professional wrestling. I still watch it. Still watch it religiously. It's on my DVR. I watch both shows religiously. I do, because I tape them. I make sure to watch them. Keep tabs on things. And while there's certain things I don't like, and I could get into it, a lot of people do that. A lot of people talk about how bad TNA is, how bad WWE is, how bad this is, that is, that is. I mean, I've heard wrestling being cool. Before I go off on a rant, that's for another video. Talk about what shows I like. Which one? Which company? I like the roster of TNA, most of the guys. I mean, you got your AJ Styles, you got your Motor City Machine Guns, you got Fortune, all of Fortune, Pope, you got Ken Anderson. I like what they're doing with Jeff Hardy. I like the Antichrist of professional wrestling. I like the videos that they shoot with him. All in all, I'm a big fan of it. I am. And I like TNA as far as reaction goes. I dig it. I dig the show. I think it's a solid concept. Really can't fault it. And I like how they film their backstage stuff. Their Knockouts division, it's okay. I mean, the girls are nice to look at. All in all, and I think they give enough of a decent enough alternative with the blood factor and who they've brought in, who they've sprinkled in, so on and so forth. Now in WWE, I like a lot of their talent. I mean, Undertaker, love that dude. Even though he's not really as active as he once was. But, I mean, you got Orton, you got Cena. I mean, I'm fans of those guys. I'm a fan of their work rate, fan of what they do in the ring, fan of the story they tell. I like the John Morrisons, The Miz, of course, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler. He's grown on me as far as intensity and whatnot. Kofi, I mean, there's young guys that I like, Kaval, the Divas, same thing, nice to look at, whatnot. But the truth is that I look at execution a lot of times. TNA's got a pay-per-view this evening. I'm not watching it. I'm not really that into it. I have friends who are also fellow wrestlers who are not that into it. Bound for Glory, as big of a sell job as they did for it, didn't watch it. Really wasn't that intrigued. Wasn't intrigued by all the matchups. Watched last Impact, and of course they're scrambling because Ken's hurt, and now they had to find and put Morgan in his place. But it's still like, why not Rob Van Dam, so on and so forth. But when I look at execution, as far as like in-ring execution, finishes, like the SummerSlam main event finish, I thought that was well booked. How they book certain storylines, I think WWE does a good job. Plus, anyone I've ever talked to, most people will say WWE knows their formula, and their formula, the way they teach it, tells a story. Growing up, that's what I was told to look at. That's what I was told to kind of mold myself after. Look at the main eventers on televised wrestling, which is WWE. Look at what they do. Less is more in a lot of respects. Not that the offense is watered down, but they tend to tell a story better. I mean, there was a match a few weeks ago between Orton and Cena. I just liked that finish. They had the Wade Barrett scenario, Nexus. They had all these things, and just how they tied in and everything. I think how they tied in, like before bragging rights with CM Punk and Edge in a one-on-one matchup. And the finish, kind of ECW style, old school ECW, everybody hit a finish, but how they did it, the pacing, the way that it came across, it was great. A lot of times I look at how they tell a story in the ring, how passionate they look, and I've been told by people in the business that that's the place to look at. Look at what they do, because if you want to be there, you kind of have to be able to tell a story like they tell a story. And if Vince were to tell me, hey man, go out there and I want you to do 5 or 6 moves to get your point across as opposed to 150 or whatever, I'm going to go for that. I don't know about you. Maybe it's the point in my career I'm in, but there you have it. The fact that WWE does have Hulu and does have YouTube and does utilize those points to get their message across and to air other shows. Maybe they don't show Raw, but they show everything else, and I think people watch it. At least you're not having to worry about watching it. They've got their 24/7 on, I've got that WWE on-demand channel on my cable, so I watch that. But all in all, I like both. I want both to succeed. I want TNA to continue to do its thing, and their main storyline, Immortal, I can maybe get behind somewhat. I just wish some of the players that were playing a part against them would come out a little bit better, and that they would do things a little different. WWE, same thing. Certain talent I look at, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? So on and so forth. The truth is, I like wrestling as a whole. And for me, for a professional wrestler, a guy wanting to get onto that stage, I'd want to get on either one. So I like them equally. I like the one especially who would give me a job. But I do watch both. I'm entertained by both. Some I scratch my head. Sometimes I'm like, what? I tend to get WWE pay-per-views, but only the big ones, at least by name. Again, that's me, probably being part sheep and marking out to it. But hey, isn't that the name of the game, is to mark out to it? I mean, I don't use the words to mark out just for me. I mean, it's a lifestyle. Anyway, I think that's about it. I think I've taken up most of your time, or at least 10 minutes of it. Appreciate anyone who paid attention to this, and maybe I'll do these more often. Again, I'll talk to all of you soon. Have a good day. Have a good day, but stay cool, stay sexy, stay classy. But you already are, because you're here with me at the Lucha Lounge. Later.